Thank you for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. I want to look ahead. I want to dive into the next several days because a big system is developing back here. Also, a pretty powerful system moving into the Pacific Northwest of the U.S. Lots of rain, snow in the higher terrain, gusty winds back into western Canada. But it's this system here that's also going to pull in a lot of moisture, head toward Texas, southeast U.S., and bring some rain across parts of the Caribbean. Speaking of which, out ahead of this, in the Caribbean, this pocket here, we've had some of that Saharan dust that has been marching across. Some dust got picked up in Africa, moving across in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. And now we have it, especially southeastern Caribbean. Keep me posted in the comments if you do have the dust. And if you do have the dust, it can last for another couple days at least. Now, let's get into the big system on the way. Here's the European model. So here's Cuba, Jamaica, Florida, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, to kind of get you oriented. We have one system here. This is the one I was talking about earlier this week. That one moving over toward Bermuda, kicking up our seas, and with that we get that northerly flow on the back end of it. This is going to slide by another front. A lot of us woke up to cooler weather, at least in our northern zones. This pushing off will work in another front, and we'll have some of the cooler weather, at least at night. You'll notice some subtle differences across the northern Caribbean. Now, that moves away, and then we start to draw our attention to what's going on back here. You see back here over by Texas, parts of Mexico, Colorado on the front range, there's going to be a lot of snow. This area is going to start to work in some moisture. We'll get some moisture pulling in from the Gulf of Mexico. And then this is by the time we get into Saturday. So on Saturday, some rain here working through parts of Texas, over toward Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas. And you see the Gulf of Mexico getting on the wet side. I want to show you the American model in just a second. And then you see here, by the time we get into Sunday, we start to get some rain working in. Yucatan Peninsula, near the Cayman Islands, Cuba, we get toward the Bahamas, Florida, south and southern U.S. A big sprawly system and gusty winds out of this. I want to show you the winds in a moment that are really going to rush down out of this. And then you see how sprawly this is. This is by the time we get into Monday, not a lot of additional movement out of this, and that means some rain around. In some spots, we really need to get some rain. So we have a better chance of getting some rain as we work our way into early next week, northern Caribbean. But you see the system still around into next week. So it could be a couple day rain event for some of us. So let me set the stage here and show you how it really matches up with the American model. And then I'll show you those winds. So we have this system here pulling back toward Bermuda, creating those high seas and pulling down another front. There's that big system moving over toward the Pacific Northwest right now. And then as we go out in time, this is later on Thursday, I want to show you the moisture that starts to get pulled into this. So this is taking you out in time on a Friday afternoon. Western U.S. back through Texas, into the southern U.S., getting active over toward parts of Mexico. Now, this system leaves, but look at that moisture starting to build there. There's some of the snow I was talking, parts of Utah as we get back toward Colorado. But this starts to work in. This is by Saturday, some heavier rain if possible, parts of the southeast U.S. And then Saturday into Sunday, this starts to move across. You see it here. Again, a very sprawly system. By sprawly, I mean it's not concentrated. It's a really large system that's going to move in. Some stronger winds, some periods of rain, just keeping things kind of sloppy. And this is by Monday, and this will pinwheel down some rain for at least the northern Caribbean as we get into Monday. Even on Tuesday, it's going to be really a slow mover. There's not a lot to really kick this out. Just a slow mover here, and that's why I mentioned a couple days of rain will be possible. Now, let me show you the winds. Now, first thing is first, the system here, that's going to give at least coastal section, open waters, I should say, and then back through Bermuda, some winds gusts that could be upwards of 80 kilometers an hour or about 50 miles per hour. So that's what's going on today, and you see that system here right exactly where we were thinking this was going to be. We've been talking about this together for a few days. That is keeping that northerly breeze around, kind of shoots down that northerly breeze again. That's why if you've had some cool nights, we'll see a few more. Then that system leaves, and then we start to look ahead to what's next. So that starts to move off on Friday, and then you see here, we have winds coming in out of the south, east here, southwest here, meeting over here. Storm system starts to develop right here near Texas by the time we get into Saturday. So this is our Saturday afternoon, and then look what happens with the winds behind this. So this is Saturday into Sunday. Strong winds here, again, gust 80 kilometers an hour, 50 miles per hour. Look at that, just diving right down on Sunday. This is the system. Again, you get a counterclockwise flow with this, so getting a look at the winds. Sharp winds out of the east over toward Florida, Cuba on Sunday, and that strong northwesterly flow in Texas. And there it is, just kind of plunging down again. And then this would be by early next week on Monday. The center of the storm system, somewhere near the southeast U.S., but look at those strong winds back behind it. So given a heads up, gale warnings will be out easily for the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean, and that also means some cooler weather and the higher chance of rain, which hopefully you get some rain. A lot of us need that, kind of fill up the cisterns. That will be a gift at this time of year if we could get some substantial rain out of that. And in the next few videos, I'll break down some of the rain totals. So I want to get a little bit of a closer look. Gulf of Mexico back through the Caribbean. So as we go out in time, this is as we work our way into our Thursday afternoon. There's Bermuda. Bermuda, we're going to have some strong winds with system number 1 and some of the rain that will be moving by. And then moving ahead toward the end of the week, that's when the next storm system starts to build up. And meanwhile, while that's happening, we have some of the dust around over toward, say, Trinidad and Tobago, even the ABC Islands. But you see snow and rain here. This is building on Friday, and then everything starts to get together. Still some spotty showers, but all eyes by the weekend will be on what's going on here as this starts to move closer Sunday and Monday into the Bahamas and Florida. Could even see some severe weather potential of that parts of the southeast U.S., especially on Sunday. See the rain here, and then this is a slow-moving system, so just that just kind of wide system there, bringing that chance of showers Monday, potentially into Tuesday. But as we get closer in time, I'll be able to fine-tune that for you and go island by island to give you the info. But you see the rain chance about 20% the next few days, but it will be picking up into early next week in Jamaica. Cayman Islands, about a 10 to 20% chance. Same thing as we work our way toward Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, we're dealing with the dust. Thinking of you, if you have any extra breathing issues, they're going to be a little bit worse. The dust, with the dust comes lower air quality. Monitoring that, same thing in Grenada, rain chance 20 to 30%. 20% chance. St. Vincent the Grenadines, about a 20% chance in Barbados, passing shower Barbados. St. Lucia, passing shower, some areas of dust. 20 to 30% chance of rain in Martinique, and a 20 to 30% chance in Dominica, and a 20 to 30% chance in Guadeloupe. So rain chance isolated the next 3 days. Antigua, Barbuda seeing that, and we're seeing that St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat. It's early next week when that rain chance will get a bit higher. Anguilla, St. Bart's, isolated showers, holding on to a 30% chance the next couple days. St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. Overall, rain chance a little higher. Puerto Rico, some scattered showers the next 3 days. U.S. and British Virgin Islands isolated to some scattered showers, just depending on where some of those set up. Dominican Republic, 40% chance tomorrow, limited 20% chance of a shower in Haiti, and then mainly dry conditions through the Bahamas in the short term. But by the second half of the weekend into early next week, we'll see that higher chance of rain, mainly dry in the Turks and Caicos, very limited rain chance in Cuba in the short term. Next 3 days in Belize, that rain chance is very low as well in the Yucatan. We're waiting on that next system. Rain chance in Aruba, 20%. Rain chance in Curacao, 20%. And a 20% chance in Bonaire. Rain chance 10% in Bermuda today. But that system that is offshore is going to start to work in tomorrow. I mentioned the gusty winds in Bermuda and that higher chance of some rain. Costa Rica and Panama, rain chance about 30% the next couple of days. 50% chance in Guyana, but going down, and it will be trending down some in Suriname. Northern Venezuela, northern Colombia, isolated showers possible. Eastern sections of Venezuela seeing some of that dust. So a bigger system headed our way late this weekend into early next week with that higher chance of rain, higher seas. We're going to see some gusty winds, cooler air with a couple of these systems continuing to pump into our northern zones. Finally, for some of us, getting those Christmas winds, if you will, and watching the dust in the Eastern Caribbean. We did have another earthquake close to 4 in magnitude just to the north of the U.S. and British Virgin Islands this morning. So monitoring that earthquake cluster. I have more on that in yesterday's video, and I'll keep tabs on that. So a lot to cover as we go through the end of the week. Thank you for subscribing and sharing this information. Have a great rest of your day.